This recording is for Independent Comics University. Today is April 27th, Saturday, or 26th, sorry. I'm losing track here of time. But you're always losing track when you're doing a lot of writing, so your world is always skewed a little bit here and there. But mainly, I had to do this recording because I'm part of the professor of the writing portion of the university itself. And it was time for me to do a recording because now is April, I'm almost done April, and heading into May. And this is a busy time for any writer that is part of the comic book industry, or at least doing independent stuff, because most of us has come up before summertime, because we're just busy doing our thing. But mainly, I guess the talking point for this one is your mindset, why you're doing the writing that you're doing. Now, as for me, I do it because it's part of my therapy. I'm not depressed like I used to be. Some people do it out of depression, which is cool because it's a therapeutic type of action to make sure that you keep your sanity. And writing at times can be very frustrating if you're not getting your emotions out properly and you're getting writing blocks and you're just trying to figure out what the hell am I writing about, why am I doing it? And the thing is that come back to the reason why you're doing what you're doing. I've always said this: if you find the why, the how is always around you. And the why, you have to find out your why. Your why is going to be why you're doing it and your goals that you want to set for the writing assignments that you're doing. And also, if you're a writer and you try to put out comic books, because this is about comic book writing, or at least comic book media, is if you're a good writer and you're not really an illustrator like I am, I can do little sketches here and there. But as far as finding someone to coordinate with for your comic book stuff, for your illustrations, I would say your best bet is to either go on our site, which will have a list of artists, which I believe will be happening very soon. But also, if you have to, go to Comic Cons, because some of the best artists are at Comic Cons. They're there and they're trying to illustrate what they can do. What you just got to do is go out there and actually find them, go to Comic Con, spend the money, get in. It's worth it. You know, it might be like nowadays, Comic Cons are about 25 to 50 bucks a day. But if you find a decent venue and some good artists that you like, I say go out there and see what they have, because if you pitch your project to them and ask them, say, look, do you mind illustrating something for me, because this project I have, this book that I have, or whatever I'm doing, it needs illustrators, and I have a certain style that I like that you're displaying, and here's a synopsis of what I'm trying to do. So the thing is, don't just come to a artist and say, oh, this is my idea, Have it in writing, because right now, you can pitch the idea all you want to by word of mouth or word or whatever you're doing. It doesn't resonate until you have something in your hand to give them. You gotta have something to give them, because right now, people are, attention deficit is a big thing nowadays. So the best thing to do is make sure you have some kind of format or paper synopsis. I don't care if it's like 3 or 4 pages. At least show them what you're trying to put out, because that would help you find the artists that want to work with you. Another thing is this: the story that you're writing does have meaning and purpose to it. Some artists just do it just to get their work out there, but it might have no plot. So I'll tell you right now, most things that have no plot, it doesn't last long. And the guys that do the stuff that write about stuff that, is sex and about porn stuff and just got to show boobs and tits, it's so weak and it doesn't last long. Those guys are a dime a dozen and they disappear from the scene in like 2 years. Make sure that your work is definitely on point. It has a purpose. People are influenced by it. They want to get around you because they said, I want to know more about your world because I am so caught up in it. The way the characters write out, the way they're influenced by their environment. And the thing is, when you write, your environment has to be something that people is tangible. People they can say, I can see this in my head. I can see this happening in my world. I can see this in front of me because it's so real. And that's what makes my writing, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but people love the stuff I do because my stuff takes place in New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York City. I got a newest one that takes place in LA. And people love the stuff I do because they can relate to it, because it's telling part of their story, it's telling part of their reality. And you just put a little twist of science fiction or fantasy or magic, whatever, into it, and people can gravitate to it because they can see it happening in their own world. And people want that little escape. They said they don't have to go too far outside of reality, but at least give enough where they can believe they can be part of it. And also, when they have part of it, you might find a writer that wants to get out there and say, you know what, I like what you're doing. Can I be your assistant? Can I be your editor? Can I be your proofreader? And those are the best kind of fans you can have, because they will follow you to the hilt, because they want to be part of what you're doing. They want to learn from you and do what you're doing. But actually, after that, guess what? You can probably put out work faster because you have a team now, and a team is what makes you float like crazy. Now, the people I work with, like Miles Simon, I found them actually when I was pitching an idea for a new type of science fiction series, and he said, Eric, what's this all about? I said, well, I mean, it's a new idea, a new concept. I'm just trying to get some work out here. I'm trying to find some artists. And we start talking back and forth and how I work on a small project. And he got it back to me, and he did some work on one of the chapters. And he did an amazing job. I said, you know what? I like what you did. Can you tweak this and this and this? And about a few days later, I got a new chapter back, revised, and the man was on point. And I've been around Miles for, probably about 6 years now, 7 years. And he's come out to me to San Diego Comic-Con. But when I'm around, everyone asks, Eric, if he's not with me or he's somewhere else in the con, Eric says, Eric, where's Miles at? Where's Miles at? So he has a presence. Even though I'm there, they said, where is your co-writer? Because we love everything you guys do. And that's the kind of following that you want. People that come to Comic-Cons and come to the table of artists and say, oh, what's your new project? And most of the stuff is just mostly fan artwork. There's nothing there that says, what is your project? What is your individual, unique property? And that's what I push on other writers. Stop writing on DC Marvel stuff. You gotta start putting out your own, especially a person of color. You gotta start representing you, because they will not tell your stories. And if they do, it's half-assed. So it's time to start putting the work in and stop making excuses, trying to make the white guys or other guys try to tell your story. We come from unique line of people that influence this whole entire damn world. And it's time that we start telling our damn stories. Stop relying on everybody else to do it for us. And also, if you are a person of color that is going to Comic-Cons and you're passing people that have content that relates to you as a person, stop by, ask about it. You might be influenced by Marvel and DC, you might pass this by, but at least stop and ask about what these people of original characters and creations are doing. Because you know what? You might find something out about yourself that you never knew. You might find something out about yourself that, or at least another person in your life that says, you know what, this person's going through this. You know what, let me get this book because it's going to relate to a person I know that's going through a rough time in his life. A lot of people have gotten my books that has to do with people that have some depression problems or issues about their sexuality or their orientation or about just being bullied. And they gravitate to the writings that I do because I'm expressing a part of myself to the world, because I've been through all those type of things. I've gone through my, I guess, more metamorphosis in life, because I get the writing, because you only can tell your testimony after you're going through a test. I'm still here today because people believe in me, and also I believe in myself, and I know I can do the work that I do. So I never apologize for the work I do. Now, it may not be perfection, and don't ever try to figure out is your work perfect. Don't try to go for perfection. Perfection comes out when there's some big company backing you, they got the money. But if you're independent, you don't have money like that. So the best thing is get the idea out so people can learn about what you can do. And then the investors will come because they said, you know what, you have a following. We want to be part of this. We want to invest in you. And hopefully if there are people of color that have, their own banks or their own business that says, you know what, I believe in you, brother. I got your back. Let me get some more people around this. you know what, we can make comic books out of this, we can make TV series out of this, an animated series, we can make a damn movie. Let's go. So now you have a platform for them to support. If you don't have the platform and you're just saying words of mouth and not getting anything out there, it's not going to work until you prove that you have something tangible to take a hold of, and they will be a part of it. And as I said, find your purpose, find your reason why you do it. People will follow you and they will want to invest in you. And that's all I gotta say. And that's Eric Cooper signing out from Nightseeker. And also Black Label Comic Con is the newest Comic Con coming out on the East Coast. It's for all independent people of not just color, it's just people that have their own individual properties that want to display it for the attendees that's coming. And we have guests like Trevor Bell. He's a media guest. It's my first time having someone like that at a con. And it's my first con for number one. But also, he's never had an opportunity to actually be a guest at a show. And he has a big following. He has his own clothing line out. And I thank him for actually giving me attention to actually come to my con over in Philly. And it's going to be August 10th on Saturday. We have other people that's lined up. It's a long list of people. I don't want to go through all